Just to give a little bit of background, I am a lesbian. I live in the Twin Cities. I'm 27 and I've never been in a long-term relationship. And all my friends tell me I need to put myself out there more. And so this past spring, I heard about a lesbian singles party that was happening in Minneapolis. And I've done the dating apps, haven't really worked. I don't drink, so I can't meet people at bars, really. It's also, I think it's hard to meet people in the Twin Cities because there's this weird competitive culture of who can out-dyke each other. I don't know if anybody else has noticed that, but I have felt that a lot in the queer spaces that I have been in. And I'm just not interested in competing with anybody. All that to say, it's difficult to meet other lesbians in Minnesota. And yeah, I thought that this singles party sounded like a fun way to meet people. So I saw this girl sitting up at the bar. She was really pretty, and even though I was scared shitless, I made the first move, and it paid off because she was into me. And I drove her home, like we started hanging out and talking after that, and it seemed to be going pretty well. It wasn't anything hot and heavy. I wasn't madly in love, but it was cool. And she was really into me, which was nice because I haven't had a whole lot of that. And so to be doted on and to be told things like, oh, I've never met a girl like you, you're so amazing. Like, yeah, like it was nice. But I always kind of felt like there was something a little off about her. The more time we spent together, the more I kind of noticed some red flags here and there. But nothing that would send me like screaming, running away. A lot of people have commented things like, how did you not know? And it's like, people don't wear t-shirts saying, I eat people. Anyway, one night we went out to a very nice dinner. She was pretty wealthy, and so she would take me out to these nice restaurants, and we were out to dinner at this nice place in Minneapolis. And I love get to know you questions, like ask me 20 questions, ask me would you rather. I could do that for hours and hours on end. I love hearing people's answers, and I love giving my answers. And one of my favorite get to know you questions for romantic partnerships or friends is, what is the most unique or craziest thing you've ever eaten? And she kind of like laughed and was like, oh, you'll never guess. And I was like, oh, haha, like, yeah, we're lesbians, like, yeah. No, I thought that she was going to make a joke about that, but no, she proceeds to then tell me that when she was 14 years old, she was really good friends with the old guy in her hometown who worked at the morgue. And one day, this man brought home a BODY from the morgue, cooked it up, and invited her to come over and eat it. Yeah, I didn't see her again after that.
Start off in July. I was in a trip in Aruba, very stressed. I will say I was very, very, very stressed when I was in Aruba with my mom. I was honestly stressed all summer. That was probably the most stressful month for me, not because anything particularly was happening, but I was just putting a lot of stress on myself. That was probably the most I've cried, the most emotional I've been in the whole entire trip. I could not eat, I could barely sleep. Still had a great time, but like the trip itself, like my health was not good. It was declining, and it was probably the skinniest that I've been. I would say I was about like 120 something pounds. I'm 6 foot. That's bad. That's bad. Even now I'm honestly underweight and it's still bad. So anybody who thinks that I have this like perfect body, I am making this video specifically because I don't know if it's my weight that is causing these issues or whatever, but like I go through shit, and I am going through shit, and this is shit that nobody researches apparently, and we have nothing fucking on it. So I get back feeling okay. My bladder starts to burn. And I'm like, okay, this has got to be like a UTI. Like, I got a UTI or something. I go to urgent care. They say, you do have a UTI. I'm like, okay, cool, great. Give me the antibiotics and let me be on my way. That's exactly what they do. I take the antibiotics. A week later, I'm feeling like, okay, like, this is a new me. Like, no UTI. Who this? Well, literally like a day after the day I felt good after stopping the antibiotics, like the following day, I was like, I am burning. Like, I'm literally burning. I feel myself burning. So I go back to the urgent care and I'm like, hey guys, like, I just want to get tested again because I feel like I came here the first time, got antibiotics. All these symptoms should be gone by now, but for some reason they're not. They test me. They say, well, you know, your last urine culture came back negative. So you didn't even have a UTI. I'm like, so I don't have a UTI now, and I didn't have a fucking UTI. No. Okay, so after that, I'm like, screw this. I need to go to the gynecologist. I go to my normal doctor at the time, which was, I think, like Heart of Florida or something. And I'm saying that online because I don't like Heart of Florida. I go to my normal doctor, try to get in with the gynecologist. They get me in for like a checkup because I guess I need to be referred to their gynecologist. But like all year, I kept trying to do that, and they would only schedule appointments for like checkups or like referral, but they would never actually refer me to the gynecologist. So it was always like a waste of money and a waste of time because I always had to pay like a copay fee at the front for $50 just for the appointment for them to tell me the same things. Whatever. Place, I go somewhere else. Great. Love them. I go there, get into the gynecologist, first appointment. She's already up in there. Like, she's already looking at me, inspecting everything. That was in August. She gets me for yeast infection and BV. I'm like, oh, double whammy. Thank you so much. I really wanted to have these right now, but whatever. Like, it's fine. It's like, give me the antibiotics and let me go on with my day. Like, I just need to get over this period that I'm going through. And you know, when I was on birth control, I was on it from 2023 to this May. I had a ton of problems. Like, I was like always switching them because I had problems. So then I just got off entirely because I was like, fuck this. You guys hate me. And I just was like, birth control doesn't personally work for me. I know everybody has their own stories, but for me, it didn't work. That's fine. So I go to the gynecologist. I take my antibiotics. Okay, fine. Shit, I'm losing my train of thought. I go to get my freaking antibiotics, and then I take them. Yeast infection, BV, gone, fine. I'm like, okay, like I'm feeling like a brand new person. Well, I'm burning still. I'm burning really bad still, and I don't know what the fuck to do. So I keep going back. At this point, I've been to the gynecologist about 6 times, and every single time they've looked at me. I go to get an ultrasound up in there. See what's going on. Like, what you got? Do you have any cysts? Do you have any of this? I go to these appointments. I get checked out every time. No, negative. She tells me, I think you might have interstitial cystitis. Hell no. I've been Googling that shit this whole time. This has been the one thing I've seen on Google and on TikTok that I'm like, I hope and pray I do not have this. I hope and pray I do not have this. Interstitial cystitis. She's like, yeah, I think you should try avoiding these things, don't do this, and then see how it affects you. Food doesn't really affect me, drinks don't really affect me, although alcohol might a little bit, not too much, but it might a little bit. And yeah, I've just been struggling with this fuck ass shit, so I just wanted to let you guys know that. I'm not going to say I have interstitial cystitis because too many women in comments have been like, I've had this for 30 years. Oh no, honey. I'm figuring this shit out. I'm not getting Botox in my bladder. I'm not, getting bladder installations or getting like stuff spewed up my bladder to expand it. Me personally, that's not gonna work. What else? I'm also not going to, I'm just not gonna accept I'm not gonna accept interstitial cystitis as like my diagnosis because this shit is chronic and I do not claim that negative energy. I don't claim that negative energy, so I'm gonna start pelvic floor therapy. And I'll let you guys know how that goes, although nobody really asked, but hopefully pelvic floor therapy should be beneficial because I think when these issues started, I was under a lot of stress. And I think ever since, my body has just been tense. And my body has just been tight. And I think because I don't weigh that much, I honestly don't have as much muscle mass as I used to. I think my whole body is just like screaming for help.
Story time of how my boss is trying to kick me out right before Christmas when I've lived with her for the past 6 months. So a little backstory, I have been a live-in nanny for the past 6 months. I'm originally from Utah, flew all the way from Utah to South Carolina to live with these people and take care of their children, which I have for 6 months. So in my contract that they wrote up, I would be working 9 hours a day. So from like 6 to 4, 7 to 5 kind of deal, right? And that should be the case, but it hasn't been. I've been working 7 to 7, okay? And also in the contract, it is stated that I will get $15 an hour for any overtime, and I haven't gotten that once. And also, at the time that I was doing all this overtime, they started having me cook dinner every single night, which also was not a part of my contract, and it has just been expected. And most of the time, they don't leave enough food for me after I cook it, and they hardly ever say thank you, okay? And they are full meals, like steak with potatoes and asparagus, stuff like that every single night. So I went to the husband and wife and said, hey guys, I would like to set up a meeting. I've been with them I said this around like 5.5 months, because I was coming up on 6 months, saying I need to have a meeting with a performance review from you guys, but also I would like to say a few things on my end and just go over a few things that I'm concerned about. And they agreed. But the wife kept blowing it off, being like, oh, I can't do this. I can't do it right now. And I was very willing to just work with her. Like, I'm fine whenever you guys are willing to talk about it. It's no big deal. Well, finally, I just get done doing their laundry, which is their laundry, the parents' laundry. I don't just do the kids' laundry, but their laundry as well, which they would leave on the floor, like dirty underwear all the time on the floor for me to pick up. Right. So I just get done doing their laundry, and by this time, the husband had just left somewhere, and the wife says, let's just have the talk now. And I say, your husband isn't here, like, shouldn't we wait? And she says, no, he doesn't need to be here for this anyway, like, let's just have it be me and you. Okay. So we sit down, have the talk. She pulls up a 10 million word note thing that she has written up, and I just have those few things and concerns, right? And basically, so what comes with the live-in nanny job that she told me came with the job was that they would provide a car for me that I'm currently in. They would provide it. Obviously, I don't get to keep it. It is their car, but that's the car that I drive their kids around in, whatever. They would pay for my gas, except for personal use. Like if I were to go to a friend's house or want to go to like a surrounding town like 2 hours away, then I would have to pay for that gas. But to drive her kids around, they would pay for that. And they would pay for my tickets to go on trips. Like if they were going to Disney, they would pay for my ticket there. If they wanted to travel anywhere, they would pay for my tickets, stuff like that, right? And so keep that in mind. Yeah, just keep that in mind. So when I was very kind. I mean, I live with this woman. I don't want to get on her bad side. I'm very kind and very professional and saying like, I don't know why I'm cooking every single night. Like, I'm so fine to help you guys cook, and maybe like 2 nights a week, like I will cook like by myself, which I cook all by myself. They don't help me at all. They're both home, but I'm cooking by myself. Anyways, and I said like I'd be willing to do that 2 nights a week, but I am honestly very drained from doing that every single night and not having hardly any time off. Like I never get to hang out with my friends. They're all in college. And so by the time I'm off at like 7:30, sometimes 8, my friends are studying or wanting to go to bed or eat dinner, and just like they don't have time. So all my life is work. And she gets upset and says, well, I wouldn't have hired you if you couldn't cook. And in the interviewing process, she asked me if I could cook. And I said, I know how to make really good breakfast, but I mean, like, I'm 19. I was 19 at the time. I'm 19. Like, I'm no chef, but like I can cook. And she says, we'll only need your help maybe once or twice a week, maybe that. But what we'll really need is help with the kids' food, which is chicken nuggets and like, mac and cheese, stuff like that. And I said, absolutely. So that is what she said. And that is what I said. So basically she gets very upset and is like, you need to figure that out, and I wouldn't have hired you. And sorry, she's texting me right now, whatever. So she says that, and I'm like, okay, whatever. And then I bring up also, if I'm going to be working till 7, I'm bringing up the overtime pay that I haven't gotten. I'm like, I've been doing this for months. I'm so burnt out because I'm working 7 to 7 every single day, except for on the weekends, which I sleep because I have insomnia and I don't sleep anyway. And I'm working all day. So I just spend my time on the weekends sleeping or out with friends. And, And she says, well, I don't really see why we need to give you that because you're resting during the day. What? So I don't know about any other nannies or babysitters, but I've been a nanny and a babysitter forever. I'm now 20. I've been babysitting since I was like 15 years old, and I've been a nanny since I was 17 for a bunch of different people. In all my experience and time, if the baby is asleep, right, that is the time that you gotta sit back, be on your phone, chillax for a second, take a nap, who cares? And she also told me in the interviewing process that when the baby's down, that is my free time, that I can just chill out, right? Well, excuse me for believing her, because she's saying, well, because you're taking a nap or you're on your phone, you're not working. So you're making up for that time by working till late. What? So basically, I am no longer allowed to chillax. I'm working all day, no breaks at all. Because if I take a 30-minute to an hour break, God forbid, I'm working till late. Great. So, yeah. And whatever else I brought up, it was just blown over. She didn't care, whatever. And then she pauses me and she's like, actually, to go back to the whole money thing, I just wanted, like, I don't see you as a cost or as a burden. And we're not like struggling financially. Like, I don't want you to think that, but I just need to let you know how expensive you are. And lists off how she bought me a car, how she just bought me my Disney ticket, which she's not letting me go on, by the way. She just bought me my ski ticket for when we go in March. She had to renovate her house to add on a nursery because I'm staying in the room that was supposed to be her baby's room. How is any of this my fault? This came with the job. Why are you trying to make me feel guilty when these are all the things that came with the job? I'm sorry, your house doesn't come with a nursery and you had to give your baby a nursery because you don't want her in your room. How is that my problem? So basically, I just left the she's like, is there anything else I have to leave for a meeting? What am I supposed to say? No. Like, I need to keep talking to you. Like, she would kill me. If looks could kill, the entire conversation, she was glaring at me like this. That's how she's looking at me the entire time. I was terrified for my life. Okay. And so she leaves. Whatever. And that was November 13th that we had this conversation. So a few days ago, I brought it up to both her husband and her. I actually have a really rough childhood, and I have obviously have had problems with that. And they've known I've had insomnia since the get-go, and it's never been a problem, ever. Not only that they never asked if I was okay, if they could help or anything, they were just like, okay, good to know. I have never been too tired to drive the kids to school. I've never been too tired to get up in the mornings. If I sleep in for an extra 5 or 10 minutes before the kids are even up, God forbid. And I'm sorry, like, I'm tired. I'm sorry. And the kids aren't even up yet. Like, I have never gotten the kids late to school. I have never not been ready in the morning, you know? And so I tell them I've actually been having a really hard time. I've been getting some nightmares related to my past trauma. And I'm not saying this to have you guys worry about me. I'm just letting you know I want to look into some therapies to get this figured out, because I also would like to sleep throughout the night. And so I can be at 100%. And they're like, absolutely. Like, we want that for you. We want to help you. Perfect. Great. So I thought we were great. 2 days later, they come to me while I'm actively laying on the floor with their baby, playing with her, saying, how's your sleep been? I say, as it always is, you know, it's just whatever, but I'm talking to a therapist later today. And they're like, okay, cool. We actually just don't think you're safe to drive our kids around anymore. What? Like, hello? I have been driving these kids around every single day for 6 months, and they've known about my insomnia. Like, why would that suddenly change? That makes no sense to me. And they're just like, we just don't think you're safe. So unless you can fix this issue by the end of the month, we're just going to have to find someone else. Newsflash, insomnia and PTSD cannot be solved in a month. I think she's genuinely just trying to find an excuse to fire me. So they tell me they're basically going to hire someone else, right? If I can't get this figured out. Whew, that is crazy to hear, because I've lived with them for 6 months. This just hasn't been a problem, you know. I think it was just an excuse to fire me, because she has been pissed off at me. She's treated me extra horribly since we first had that talk in November, right? And so I'm like, you know what? I'll try and talk to my therapist, but whatever. In my mind, I'm like, you know what? I just need to quit, because they are going to fire me. I cannot I'm not even with a therapist yet. They're trying to get me to solve this by the end of the month. Therapy takes a while, not like, and I'm doing my best. Like I'm doing my best. Like that, it's not going to happen by the end of the month. So I really just need to quit and help them find a nanny, right? That's my thinking. So later that afternoon, I say, oh, no. Later that afternoon, the husband texts me, who has always been super nice to me, like always super, super nice. So I think the wife might just be jealous. Maybe that's why she's been extra horrible to me. I don't know. But I don't want your man, girl. I don't. Anyways, he texted me and was like, we just really want you to be happy and healthy. Like, please let us know if there's anything we can help you with, because we don't want to have to find another nanny. The kids love you. We love you. Like, please let us know. And I say, I like absolutely thank you guys for your support. There's a lot of things to think about and go over. I will let you guys know. And immediately she's like, things to think about as if like with the job, as if you're quitting or if you're going to be able to figure it out. Yeah, I'm quitting. So I say, actually, I've been thinking about both. Maybe I think I should just put in my 4 weeks and work till mid-January. Very important that I work till mid-January. I cannot pack up my life. And move out in like a week or two. Like I need at least 4 weeks, like please. And that was very important. And they're like, thank you for telling us, like, thank you, like, absolutely, we understand. Great, so we understand. So later that night, I go to her husband is upstairs, whatever. And I'm like, I can post in the Facebook group chats or other things talking where she like hired me and stuff, saying this is the family that I've been with. If like anyone's interested, they need a new nanny come mid-January. And I told her I could do that. And she's like, oh, no need. We already have someone else. I'm like, oh, really? And she's like, yeah, we already hired her. So you're good. It hasn't even been 24 hours. Okay. So yeah, not even 24 hours. I'm like, what the fuck? That's crazy. But cool. You already found someone that's like, I don't have to post about it. That's great. I'm thinking they're going to have this girl start mid-January, right? Like that's common courtesy. That's what I asked for. Cool. Also, it is what is in our contract that they wrote up. 4 weeks notice to have them figure out to get a new nanny and for me to sort out my living situation, new job, whatever, getting home, whatever. So since then, that was 2 days ago. 2 days ago, I told them I was quitting. Okay, 2 days. Since then, she has been blowing up my phone saying, you need to go, you need to figure out your flight plans, you need to do this, you need to do that, blah, blah, blah. Trying to get me out as fast as possible. Okay. And I'm reading this, I'll let you know, blah, 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 blah. I told them I would let them know by Sunday because I actually have a family in the neighborhood who has been interested in hiring me, but I told them once my contract was up, I would love to work for them. So I'm getting in contact with them. They told me they'd let me know by Sunday. So I'm saying, I'll let you know Sunday because I'm not going to buy a plane ticket home if I have another job here. Like, I'm not going to waste that money. I've been telling her that on repeat for 2 days, and she is not letting up. She's like, you just need to leave. You need to figure out where you're going to leave, blah, 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 blah. And I've mentioned I might be able to stay with friends after Christmas. All of my friends are going to be with their families for Christmas. I'm not going to ask to stay with my friends for Christmas. That's just horrible. I'm not going to do that to my friend. But she does not give a single fuck. She's like, figure it out. You need to leave. Wow. So, she's also trying to make me leave, and fly out of Charleston because I'm not going to be able to bring my car. So she's going to drive me to her in-laws. And so I can fly out of Charleston. Charleston airport is more expensive than other airports because it's Charleston. Charleston is just expensive. And I doubt she's going to be helping me pay. Oh, also, she's not paying me for this last week that I've worked, she's not paying me for whatever reason. And tonight she also asked, I'm also going to have the baby go with my in-laws so you can sleep and like have time so you won't have to deal with that. No, what are you talking about? I need the money. Also, there is a situation that it was like, I should have checked. It should have been my fault. it is my fault, whatever. And I apologized, and I thought we moved on from the situation. I don't think I've talked about it yet. Sorry, I'm also in a QT parking lot, so just ignore the lights and people around me. But I went to New York for like 5 days for my birthday, November 22nd. And then right after that, we were in Charleston. So it was a very busy 2 weeks for me. We came back immediately next day. I was working, obviously. And I told them I was going to take a nap and have to work till later that night because I was exhausted, right? Usually I have the baby monitor in my room and it's almost always plugged in. I didn't check if it was plugged in. It was powered on, but I didn't see that it was plugged in. And I went to bed. I went to bed for the hour that the baby was asleep. Okay. It died while I was asleep, and I didn't hear that the baby was crying, and I didn't get up with her. But the husband was home, and because it was his day off or whatever, and so it wasn't like the baby was left alone crying in her crib. Also, I only overslept for maybe 25 minutes. I think it was not that long. It's not like I slept for 5 more hours and the baby was screaming, crying, dying in her crib because no one was getting her, right? And as soon as I woke up and I saw that the thing was dead, I shot up and went to her room, and she was not in her crib. So I was like, oh, the husband got her, perfect. I went downstairs, apologized profusely, and he's like, no, like, I'm home. Like, she's been so happy. Like, she's good. So I thought we were good. But joke's on me again for thinking that we were okay, because now she's saying she's gonna, like, have the baby go because, like, I can't get up with her. That happened one time for 20 minutes while the husband was home. So she's basically trying to punish me in any single way. I apologize profusely, and it hasn't happened since. Okay? I haven't even taken a nap since then because I'm like, I'm not gonna miss it. I have to pack. Whatever it is. And so basically she's just trying to find any way to get me to not work so she doesn't have to pay me so I can just get the fuck out. It is in the contract that I need to stay till January. It is in the contract that I need 4 weeks. And she's not caring. Her mother is a lawyer. She's been talking to her mom, probably saying, oh, I'm such a saint for giving this girl a place to live and all this stuff. Like, she's so horrible. But all of this is insane. And maybe I am a narcissist and I'm not noticing that this is crazy, but let me know. But yeah, so she's trying to get me out in the next week or two. And yeah, so we'll see what happens. And I will give you guys an update if anything crazy does happen. Also, last thing I'm gonna say, tonight after she really pressured me to tell her my flight plan and how I need to leave and sent me a huge long paragraph about how I need to get out, basically, I didn't answer. So she followed up with another humongous text saying how stressful the situation is for her and trying to like get a new nanny and like sort out when she's gonna be here and how hard it is that I'm quitting on her, like how stressful that is for her, and how I should understand that and I should be considerate of that. Well, newsflash, babe, you didn't have to hire a nanny immediately. You could have me work till mid-January, like it says in the contract and like I said that I would do. You're creating this stress for yourself. Also, another note, I have loved this family. Their kids frequently call me mama because I've raised them for 6 months.
My boyfriend's mad at me because he opened up our relationship and got no dates. Am I in the wrong for how I responded? Me and my boyfriend, both 37, have been dating for just over 3 years. Prior to this, I was single for 8 years. Overall, it's been a healthy relationship. We're both independent with our jobs, living situations, etc. I do love spending time with him. I don't really have any complaints. However, something that startled me was back about 6 months ago, him saying that he wanted to open the relationship, meaning going on dates and sleeping with other women. I've never been in a dynamic like this, so naturally I had a lot of questions. He told me that I could also go on dates and sleep with other men. I honestly was a little skeptical at first, but after doing some research and having time to think, I agreed. He had told me that if at any point I wasn't comfortable, we could stop and close the relationship up again. One of the rules was we don't discuss with each other what we're doing and who we're going on dates with, etc. I signed up to a dating app. Within a few days I had like 500 plus likes, and it's been pretty steady since. So I started matching with people, texting and arranging dates. On average, I go on 1 or 2 dates a month. These are also some people in similar dynamics of open relationships that I'm going on dates with and sleeping with regularly. I quite like the fact that everything is non-committal, so even though I was skeptical at first, I am enjoying the open relationship. As decided from before, I hadn't told my boyfriend about any of this. I was at my boyfriend's house the other day and my phone was on the kitchen counter. He saw my notifications and then proceeded to go through my phone and read my messages, including going through the dating app and whatnot. To say he was angry was an understatement. Turns out, he opened the relationship up to take out and date a younger colleague at his work, who misread his idea of a date as just a work lunch. He then openly told me that he wanted to see if it would work with her so that he could ultimately leave me for her. However, she didn't want him, and it seems like no one else did either. In the last 6 months, he's had a few rough dates, but no one additional to sleep with. I feel somewhat embarrassed for him. He demanded that we instantly close the relationship, and I told him that maybe we should just end things or at least take a break. He was outraged and called me names, but he was the one who wanted this dynamic, so what's the problem? I left, and as I walked home, I'm contemplating fully breaking it off with him. He's been blowing my phone up, and I'm not quite sure what to say. Am I in the wrong?